Yeah. Week 8, power rankings. Let's do it. And that's enough. All right, guys. Week 8 power rankings. I'm going to try to make these videos a little bit shorter. They're like 15 minutes long, which is kind of a lot. So let's just get right into it. Number 10, big surprise here on this spooky Halloween evening. Griff. Oh my. I wrote like some notes for everybody, and Griffin's note was pretty much no hope, which is true, honestly. I mean, it's kind of at this point a lost season for Griff. Yeah, that's kind of it. Number 9 is Gavin. Gavin, this is back-to-back weeks. I don't think Gavin should be this low on paper, because on paper I think his team should be like top 4. This is back-to-back weeks where Gavin is like not only disappointed but done it in like disgusting fashion. And so now Gavin's last in points 4 by like 40 behind. Like Griffin has more points than Gavin. I don't even know what to say. So yeah, Gavin's at 9. Number 8 is Trevor. Trevor, I don't know. I think Trevor started the year pretty high, but I mean, I don't think anybody's gotten screwed by injuries more than Trevor. So especially now with Matt Stafford hurt, I mean, I don't even know what Puka's gonna be like if Matt Stafford can't throw. I don't know. So yeah, for now, Trevor's number 8. Number 7 is Cole. Now, Cole has like the second worst record. Like he has a worse record than Trevor and Gavin. But Cole's also 4th in points scored, like points 4, which is kind of crazy that he's 2 and 6. Like literally he's the only person. I don't even know where I was going with that, but it's crazy that he's got the 4th most points in the league and he's 2 and 6. Like that's actually nuts. And it's crazy. His only win before this week was against me. That's kind of crazy. But Cole is number 7. I think he's got a chance at the playoffs. Cole's got a solid roster. Number 6 is Connor. Connor took a loss to me. Tough game for him. Tough game for the kid. But I don't know. I think when David Montgomery comes back, Connor, I think he'll be pretty solid. I think he could make some moves that would maybe make him better. But as of right now, I view Connor as like, he's like a wild card team, you know? Like I see him probably making the playoffs. Now into the top 5. This is where things get interesting. Number 5 is Caleb. Now, there was, a lot of controversy when last week I put Caleb at 5 as well, or what I put him at. Yeah, Caleb was also 5 last week behind Jake. Kind of a controversial thing, they had, Caleb had more wins and like a few more points than him. But I was just kind of saying, Jake is trending in the right direction, and Caleb simply was kind of doing the opposite. And it kind of came to fruition this week. Jake gets a win. Caleb took a loss. Tough loss. Jacoby Myers. I mean, really, it's on Jimmy G, if anything, but it is what it is. It looked like it was going to be a really promising week for Caleb. After Thursday night, he had like 50 points from like 2 or 3 guys. And I don't know what happened. Team fell off. Aaron Jones sucks. But number 4 is Dan. Dan took a loss to Jake. And I think he's still, I can't remember. Dan put up like right around 110, still a solid week. Jake just had a pretty good week, but I mean, Dan's still 2nd in points 4. It's crazy. He's 4 and 4 with the 2nd most points 4. I mean, that's kind of weird as well. It's been a weird year for sure, but am I looking at this right? Damn, this is crazy. Caleb has the second least points against. That's nuts. Connor with the least, till he had to play me. But that was a side note. So yeah, Dan's number 4. Number 3 is Jake. Jake started the year high, then he dropped like way down. Now he's back towards the top. I mean, hey, you gotta give it to him. He's battled. I think he's won 3 in a row now. Finally put up like a good amount of points too. He had over 120. So solid week out of Jake. He's trending in the right direction, you know? Too bad he just traded D-Hop, and then D-Hop went crazy this week, but hey, you live and you learn. Number 2 is Liam. Not really any surprise here, and then obviously I'm number 1. But yeah, I would say me and Liam are definitely starting to separate from the pack, even though I would really put Dan. I would say if we were doing tiers, it would be like me, Liam, and Dan are like the top tier. And then it's like Jake and Caleb. And then, you know, the rest you guys can figure that out yourselves. But yeah, me and Liam, we just keep winning. And Liam's putting up points too. I mean, he's 3rd in the league in points. That's not nothing to sniff at, you know? Now, obviously, I have an absurd amount of points. I have 90 more points, 91 more points than Dan, who's the next closest to me. And really, when it goes me with 1,006, Dan with 915, Liam with 901, and then it drops way off to Cole with 850. So it's like, not only is there a gap to get into the top 3, but really going from this, honestly, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like the tight ends in the league. Like my team, I'm Travis Kelce. Dan and Liam are like Mark Andrews and like TJ Hawkinson. And then there's kind of like a fat gap before it goes to like Kittle and like, I don't know, whatever, who cares? But point being, I have a shit ton of points. But yeah, so those are the power rankings. I want to start doing manager of the week too. Now this was an interesting one, because there were some pretty, is this gonna friggin', okay. There were some pretty important games going on this week, for certain people. It was a tough decision, I will say, but for manager of the week, I am going to go with Jake. Reason being, that was a big time win beating Dan, especially when tiebreakers and stuff will come into play. I should forget I just said that, because tiebreakers, I think points for is the first thing for tiebreakers. So actually beating your opponent or your record against somebody doesn't even matter. But regardless, you know, Jake kind of needed to prove that he deserved to be in the top 4, and he did. He had like his best week all year. And he had to play like Baker at quarterback, which actually I'm looking at it right now. Baker was his 3rd highest scorer for the week. So, hey, that's a good waiver ad. Runner up, I would say, is Cole. Mainly just because this is like, from this point on, it's pretty much like, you know, win or go home every week for Cole. He can maybe afford one more loss, but I mean, that's pushing it. And, you know, Cole had the most points scored this week, but, you know, Jake came out and beat Dan and put up a lot of points. So, you know, I'll give it to Jake. But yeah, guys, that's the week 8 power rankings. Tune in next week when I separate myself even more from the pack.